Hello friends and potential friends. Well, today is October 23rd of 2022. It's about 11:30 in the morning, about 75 degrees outside. So I think that's around 25 Celsius. But I'm starting out in the lab because I still got a lot of green coming in. I'm working diligently trying to get the garden planted out. As you can see, I've still got a lot of tomato seedlings in here that need to move outside, but I've already moved a lot of them outside, so these apparently empty cups here are mostly Swiss chard, kale, and that sort of thing. I did plant a few eggplant seeds that haven't come up yet. I grew eggplant in the spring, and they didn't do anything for me, so I decided I might as well try them in the fall and winter, see if they do any better. And back there in the back, I've got some of my cabbage collards I got from Chris at Homesteading the Hard Way. Those things are still doing me good, and I'll be planting them outside pretty soon. A lot of this Swiss chard is going to wind up in the raised beds, though some of it I'm going to put in another green stalk and move out front. And I've still got a number of Praxis cherry tomato plants that I need to separate out. I just couldn't see discarding those because I don't want to be too far from my garden candy. So I'll be scattering those around the garden here and there. The bonsai rosemary, yeah, starting to get kind of droopy a little bit. Hanging down, definitely needs a haircut. I still got the pear cuttings in water back there, and they've still got leaves on them. That surprised me. The one that I put in soil, it had started putting out new growth, and then when I put it in the soil, it dropped all its leaves. But I'm just leaving it there to see if it turns into anything. And one last thing, I've still got 6 garden peach tomatoes. And those need to go outside today. I believe what I'm going to do is take them, put them into bigger pots, and just keep them in the pots because I've already planted a bunch of these outside. So let's walk outside and see what we got out there right now. Well, here on the patio, I've still got some comfrey in pots that I need to get planted. Still have those 2 avocados, my ever-present mint, my ever-present gardening buddy Snowflake. The ginger and turmeric, some of them are starting to die back a little bit. It's been unusually cool this year since the hurricane went through. Cool and dry, which I don't like either one of those myself. But the ginger and turmeric will probably be dying off before long. I'm not sure whether I'm going to just have a big harvest or just leave it in the ground and harvest it as I need it. Still have a lot of turmeric out here in the experimental bed with the aloes. And a little bit of the comfrey in there and some rosemary. Hi, Snowflake. I've still got a few pineapples up here on the patio. And the salad tower that I put together a week or so ago is popping up all over the place. Of course, my ever-present mint in the bottom, and then I planted nasturtiums in the next row, and then I've got 4 rows of different types of lettuce. There's gourmet mix, there's some bib lettuce, few others. I'd have to look at my notes to see what they are, but they're coming up good, and I'll be eating salads before long. I also took 6 of the garden peach tomatoes and put them in this tier of another green stalk. Once I get that one built, I'm going to be moving it out to the front patio along with the salad tower. That way I'll be able to collect seeds from these garden peach tomatoes this year. They'll be separated from any of my other tomatoes. As we move out into the yard a little bit, still have a couple of strawberries trying to keep going. I may have to plant some more seeds pretty soon, because that tower's not very full right now. There's another one trying to get established. Let me see if I can give it a hand here. Yeah, I may have to go get some more strawberries and plant some more seeds in there. Elderberry still doing okay. And as you might see, there's turmeric planted down around its base. Over in the raised beds, well, sweet potatoes from slips, they're still doing pretty good. Sun's starting to get them pretty heavy right now, so they'll start drooping and wilting a little bit as the afternoon rolls on. That's going to be my Christmas surprise. Probably just before Christmas I'll be digging into that. And the other rosemaries, they just keep on going. I clip a little bit off here and there as I need it and just leave the rest of them alone. Let's see, pineapples, they're happy. Don't see any fruit coming on yet, but I really don't expect any more till spring. In this bed here, that is 24 Roma tomatoes. And I put some little Praxis cherries along the front here, just so I'd have some garden candy handy. Oh, look, I'm a poet. And I'm starting to get some blossoms on the Romas already. There's a couple right there, and there's a few over on the other side. So I may have some tomatoes growing before long. That'll be nice. Let's see, over here in the okra, I keep threatening to dig these up because they haven't been producing. However, I still have a couple that are couple of pods that I plan on getting seeds from. There's one there, and the other ones I believe are, yeah, right over here. I could go ahead and pull up the rest of the plants, and so only those two have any pods on them. And then I guess I could put some more tomatoes in here or something. The second planting of okra, well, I've been picking okra off of these things just about every day. I don't show my harvests because I generally only get like 3 or 4 pods a day. And that's not really worth recording. But as you can see, they are still giving me okra pods. Of course, they're all beat up from the hurricane, but they still produce. Now over in this bed, my plan is all that Swiss chard and kale that I have in and the collards that I've got in the lab, I'm going to be putting in this bed. It gets relatively early sunlight and gets pretty good sunlight during the afternoon. So this is going to be my salad and munching bed, or at least one of them. And then I'll just fill in any spaces I need to with various lettuce seeds that I've got. Maybe some radishes, that sort of thing. Here's where a lot of the tomatoes have wound up. Got 4 different types in here. Down at the far end we've got the Floridad. Then we got 2 rows of Boxcar Willie, a couple rows of Amana, and a couple rows of the beefsteak tomatoes that I grew from seed that I collected back in 2017. Spinning around slowly, the purslane bed is still a wreck. I still haven't taken any of that out, though there are a lot of tinier plants in there that I could easily transplant into pots. And I've got some soil to finish topping that off whenever I get the ambition to do it, or the need for more tomatoes coming out, I guess. And sweet potatoes from seeds. Well, they've taken over the whole bed, and you may notice that there's pollinators all over them this morning. And the sad part is they're starting to produce more seeds. Let me see if I can find a good one to zero in on. You know, I saw a few earlier. I think they were at the far end though. But they've got lots of flowers. And there's some seeds. Yeah, there's some seed pods right there. So looks like I'm gonna have sweet potato vines forever. If I could just figure out how to get them to grow tubers, that would be real nice. But they're pretty to look at. I don't currently need that bed, so I'm letting them go. And as you can see down here, they are trying to spread out. These ones are headed for the purslane bed. Oh, there's a couple more Roma flowers. I come out here and shake them whenever I see them, because I'm looking forward to my first BLT of the year. And over on this side, I planted the garden peach tomatoes. And then in front of them, I planted some black cherries. So I should be getting some garden candy along there also. Around here on the other side, I keep threatening to pull out these pink-eyed purple hulls, and they keep putting out more pods, more beans. So one of these days I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. There's probably only 2 or 3 bean pods on here right at the moment, though I did pick a couple earlier this morning. There's a few more sweet potatoes. And then the patience garden over here. And there's another. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. I can't even see it with my eyes right at the moment, so I'm not sure where I'm aiming. But well, let's use my hand. There we are. Yep, there's another little stalk coming up. It just keeps trying to test my patience. But that's okay. Pretty soon I'm gonna have other things I can munch on. And that's where I put the Energizer every day so it can get charged up in the sunlight. And since I put this fence around here, I haven't had any problems with the critters coming in here. So apparently it must be working. The one smallest baby possum I saw in here, well, maybe a week or so ago, but he's been growing, and I noticed just the other night, I saw him start to go through the fence, and apparently he got zapped a little bit because he backed off, and I haven't seen him in here since. But that's current state of the garden. Changing constantly. I'll be putting some more tomatoes out here soon today. And I'm thinking any of the tomatoes that I keep in containers, I'll just put right here in this empty spot. I don't really want to use containers because they dry out so fast that I have to water them every day. But I don't think I'm going to have much choice, so I'll just have to get ready for that. And out here in the mini orchard, my original ponderosa is really suffering. Got moss hanging all over it. I haven't finished cleaning that up yet. But it does have a lemon on it. That one's the size of a baseball. And there's one over here about the size of a tennis ball. So maybe I'll be getting a couple more lemon pies this year. A loquat, well, that got beat up a little bit in the storm. And I'm not sure how to go about getting it standing upright again, because it's a bit too tall for any of the supports I have. The Meyer lemon, that one's growing good. Papaya's still growing good, although most of them are at a slight angle. Here's one of my pomegranates and the guava. Parts of my pineapple plantation. More papayas. This one's starting to get some nice size, small but nice size fruit on it. Usually they drop off before they get to that size. Let's see, I got a fig in here that has put out a couple more leaves. So it's still trying. The other fig back in the shade has got a few leaves on it. My big papaya, well, it doesn't have many leaves, but there's a bunch of fruit up there. Still too small to pick. My mulberry is, I need to get that supported, I believe. Yeah, that poor thing needs to be supported. And I need to cut this sugar cane and replant it somewhere. And then my other Ponderosa lemon that I grew from seed, that's coming along pretty good. The moringa, I never did cut those branches off, but they're just turning around and aiming towards the sun. A few new branches coming on. And down at the base, I planted a bunch of turmeric a while back. So it's spreading out all over the place. Blueberry, don't think that one's gonna make it. And I do still have another pomegranate over here that probably needs to go somewhere else as well. But that's the full tour. We'll see what happens. The mini orchard doesn't change very often, but the raised beds are undergoing constant change. And then in amongst all the gardening, once in a while I have to move more debris out to the road. That'll be going on for a long time. But anyway, that's where we're at the moment. Hope you enjoyed the tour, and I'll see you next time.